Hello and welcome. I'm Miraj and you are watching Tech It Out. Now on this show, we talk a lot about the evolving abilities of artificial intelligence. In fact, it's now being used by companies not just to go through CVs, but also to evaluate and interview candidates. Now it is unsettling, I know, but on this episode of Tech It Out, we'll show you how to interact with an AI interviewer. We'll take a look at robots and how they are being integrated into society's culture. And finally, we will evaluate the latest fad in health wearables, the smart ring. That and more coming up on this episode of Tech It Out. Health wearables have been getting smarter. They've also been getting smaller. Now, for the last 1 month, I've been wearing a smart ring, and it's been an interesting experience to say the least. This is not a sponsored segment, so keep watching for our unvarnished views on the Ultrahuman smart ring. Check it out. 10,000 steps a day. That magic figure that all of us strive for every day. I think we first heard about 10,000 steps when Fitbit came around. You remember that band which used to sort of measure the steps you've taken every day and other biomarkers? It's a great story about how a device can have such a big cultural impact. Then came the Apple Watch, which added a host of other stats to the mix. Now, folks, for the last 1 month, I have been testing the latest entrant into the health wearables market. I present to you the smart ring. Now, there are a number of manufacturers making a number of rings. I went into a store and I got myself an Ultrahuman AIR, which is what I'm wearing. Now, out of the box, all you get is a ring, a special charger and a cable. The ring can be charged with any charger that delivers under 20 watts. The first thing you notice is what you don't feel. Now, this is a titanium ring. It's just about 2.5 grams, so you barely sort of feel it. I haven't even noticed that I'm wearing it most of the time. They say it's waterproof, showering is fine. I've gone for a swim in it. Although when I swim in it, that's a problem because, in swimming you're supposed to keep your fingers all closed and tight, and with this you can't, so I won't be wearing it for swimming. Now, getting the right fit is easy. I got it from a store, so that was simple, but most manufacturers, including Ultrahuman, ship a sizing kit. For something tracking me around the clock, this ring stays completely out of the way. Except when I have to charge it, that is. So Ultrahuman says that one charge lasts about a week. But there's an important caveat. That is on something called chill mode, which turns the sensors off during the day and only captures information at night. So that lasts about a week. I put mine on turbo mode, lasted me about 4 days, but it keeps the sensors running all day to get the most detailed data. And then there's something called critical mode, which is only to be used when you're almost flat. Charging takes about 2 hours, so it's not really a big deal, except that it does require a specialized charger, which is really small, so if you lose that, well, you've got to order a new one. It's also another charger to carry. So what do these smart rings really measure? A great deal, and that's where it gets interesting. Take sleep. It doesn't just clock how long I've slept, it breaks the night down. How much REM, how much deep sleep, even how often I've tossed and turned. Now, the stress tracking is tied to your sleep, and that genuinely surprised me. There's a stress rhythm score. So when I sleep less, the stress goes up. On a rough day, it flagged that I was wound up, and it was right, and it nudged me to dial it down. Then each morning, a recovery score pulls all of this together and tells you whether to push hard or ease off. So it's 5:30 in the evening. I would usually go and get a coffee, but for the past few days, I've been getting this nudge from my ring which says don't drink coffee after 5:30 in the evening because it's going to affect your sleep. I did listen to it and I realized there is a point, it does affect my sleep. So, it has these little nudges. These are not things that you don't know. It also keeps reminding me, now I work long hours, it keeps reminding me of my sleep debt, which has been going up throughout the week. Now, these things are things you need to act upon, and sometimes you just need reminders that, that you need to act upon them. And I think that's what it does. It doesn't tell you something you don't necessarily not know. There's also something called cardio age. Now, this was actually quite scary because your cardio age, according to this ring, can be, it computes this cardio age using a multiplicity of factors. It can be lower or higher than your chronological age, and mine is higher, and that is simply because I have been off the bandwagon and not been exercising for a while. It's a timely reminder to make sure that I exercise every day. So again, coming back to the same point, there are a lot of stats, but it's these little nudges where I think it has been adding to my life, at least for the last 1 month. Beyond the basics, Ultrahuman does go deeper. You can upload blood test results and track biomarkers, and there's a separate sensor if you want to watch your blood sugar and insulin response. It can also log your blood oxygen levels and skin temperature overnight. So there was one thing that I was concerned about, and perhaps you'll think about it too, is that how much radiation do these things emit? I mean, you've got electromagnetic waves going into your body at all times, or at least during the night. So I did some research, and apparently the radiation coming out of rings is negligible and not something that should really concern you, but feel free to do your own research. So how do these rings compare? Now, there are a number of rings from a number of manufacturers. When I went to buy one, I looked at Ultrahuman, I looked at Aura, and I looked at Gabit. Now, Gabit is the most value for money. It's for about 13,000. The Ultrahuman Air that I got cost me about 26,000. And then there's Aura, which is top of the line, which starts at about 29,000 and goes up to about 40,000. I got Ultrahuman because, well, it was middle of the rung and there is no subscription. In Aura, there is a monthly subscription, and I thought that those costs would add up, but it does give you much more information as well. So will I keep wearing it? I think so. It doesn't get in the way. I don't really have to bother about it getting wet or dust or any of that. It's light enough. You can barely feel it. And its nudges are genuinely helpful. I have found that I have reacted to the stats it gives me, and that has improved my quality of life somewhat. There is one thing though, and that struck me when I was thinking of getting one for my mom. Now, she gets quite anxious about her health, and I thought that, so I decided against it because I think there is always that tendency that you will start looking at these stats too obsessively, and it could give you anxiety. And well, the idea is to live a long, healthy life, not an anxious one. This though, even if it dies, it's still a ring, right? So works for me. If we are feeling dehumanized by AI, then we're certainly doing our bit to humanize robots. We came across a few interesting stories from robots practicing Tai Chi, taking part in cultural activities, and even sashaying down the catwalk. Makes for good visuals. Have a look.
Fashion shows are usually about imagining the next big trend. But in Seoul, the future on display wasn't just the clothing, it was the models too. At a runway event hosted by South Korean entertainment technology company Galaxy Corporation, robots and humans took to the catwalk in matching outfits. The show, called Mach 33 Physical AI Fashion Show, featured robots draped in capes before human models revealed the designs underneath. The robots then shared the runway with their human counterparts, walking, posing, and even performing synchronized choreography together.
I believe that one day people will wear fashion inspired by robots, and conversely, robots will wear robotic fashion inspired by humans. That is why we decided to hold a physical AI robot fashion show, because we hope to help create that world someday.
The apparel on display was designed by Galaxy Corporation, which plans to launch the collection under the Mach 33 brand later this year. The event was designed to explore a future where humans and robots coexist, not as competitors but as companions. Galaxy Corporation said the show was meant to present robots as machines capable of sharing emotion, creativity, and even philosophy. By combining fashion, performance, and robotics, the company hopes to offer a glimpse of what the emerging era of physical artificial intelligence could look like. And if this runway is any indication, robots may be finding their way into places far beyond the factory floor. That shift is already underway in South Korea. The country is one of the most automated economies in the world, with more than 1,000 industrial robots for every 10,000 workers. From advanced manufacturing to humanoid machines, South Korea has spent years investing in robotics, AI, and automation. And as the technology evolves, robots are increasingly being asked to do more than just work. Robots are not just sharing our runways, they are also learning to share our traditions. At a university in northeast China, robots took part in a competition with a distinctly cultural twist. Dressed in traditional Hanfu, the robots performed classic Chinese bowing ceremonies and even practiced the ancient martial art of Tai Chi.
With artificial intelligence now deeply integrated into every industry, the event will help more students understand how AI can empower fields such as mechanical engineering and automation, laying a solid foundation for their future careers.
The event brought together hundreds of teams and more than 1,700 students and faculty members from universities across Heilongjiang province. But cultural performance was just one part of the challenge. The competition also featured AI innovation contests, robot dance showdowns, and all-terrain robot events, blending cutting-edge technology with a celebration of culture.
We built AI to help us, to assist us. Then it got to the point where it started doing things that we do. And finally, it is now at a place where it is being used to evaluate us. Now, there's no sort of getting away from that. It's an extremely dehumanizing prospect to be judged by a machine. But companies feel like AI interviewers can be extremely objective about skill sets and reduce human error. Now, obviously, skill sets are not the only thing that human interviews look at, but ethical considerations aside, if you do happen to be interviewed by artificial intelligence, then you can probably take a leaf out of what is being taught to these students. Have a look at this story.
Looking for a job has always meant dealing with application forms, CVs, and interviews. But now, there's a good chance your first interview won't be with a human recruiter at all. It could be with an AI avatar. As tools like ChatGPT make it easier for job seekers to write CVs, cover letters, and prepare for interviews, employers are also turning to artificial intelligence to screen candidates. AI is now helping both sides of the hiring process. Candidates are using it to apply for jobs and companies are using it to decide who moves to the next stage. Some companies now receive hundreds or even thousands of applications for a single vacancy. Screening every applicant manually can take days or even weeks, so increasingly, that task is being handed to software.
The first question I'm going to ask you is, do you use AI in school? Put your hand up if you do.
The impact of this shift is already being felt in schools. At the London Enterprise Academy in East London, students are learning how AI is changing the world of work before they even enter it.
That they just have AI interviews, for example.
Teachers are encouraging students to think about both the benefits and limitations of AI tools.
It does help people to get jobs and it does help companies to hire people, but we also need humans to interview other people as well, because robots don't have actual feelings and sometimes they might not understand what they have to do, and it's not as reliable as humans.
Many students see AI as a useful assistant. It can help improve writing, organize information, and prepare applications, but they also believe human interaction remains important.
For me, it would be balanced. I'd do some use of ChatGPT, and I'd do some of my own, because if I use ChatGPT as a whole, then my CV or whatever I'm using it for, it would like anyone that's reading it, they'd understand that it's like not fully human.
For many young people, the ideal approach is a balance between human effort and AI support. For many students, these questions may sound like something from the future, but for a growing number of job seekers, it is already happening. Instead of speaking to a recruiter over the phone, some candidates now find themselves answering questions from an AI system. The software can ask questions, analyze responses, and even verify a candidate's identity before a human recruiter becomes involved. As employers look for faster ways to handle growing numbers of applications, AI interviews are moving from experimental technology to a real part of the hiring process. One company developing these tools is Amsterdam-based hiring platform Tescarilla.
Hiring signals have been weak for quite a while. We do tend to resort to standard defaults like keyword matching in resumes or screening calls that end up assessing conversational abilities and not really skills. And when all else fails, we default to pedigree, which is the name of companies you work with, the names of universities you've been to, or countries that you worked in. What AI has specifically done in the last 2 years is that it's taken all these weak signals and broken them completely. Today, almost every CV is a 100% keyword match.
Its system uses AI avatars to ask questions, record answers, and assess candidates before a human recruiter reviews their application.
It's helpful if you share key details. For example, the situation or context, challenges you faced, what you did or would do.
Applicants may be asked to complete skills tests, answer spoken questions, and verify their identity using facial recognition technology. The aim is to help employers handle large numbers of applications more efficiently rather than spending hours on initial screening calls. But human recruiters still decide what questions are asked, how answers are scored, and who progresses to the next stage. The AI is there to deliver the process, not make the final hiring decision. This approach gives candidates an early opportunity to present themselves, while also providing employers with more information before the next round of interviews. Generative AI has made it easier than ever for candidates to create polished applications. CVs can be tailored and interview answers can be rehearsed using AI chatbots. For recruiters, that has made some traditional hiring methods less effective.
We're seeing 3 times more applications globally as a result, probably, of the increase in AI's availability. Candidates are using AI to try and help them tailor their CVs, write their cover letters. And it's understandable because employers have been asking them to give more specific answers to that for a lifetime now. And employers are using AI to write job descriptions, write the job ads that you see online. They're using it to try and book interviews.
When many applications look equally strong on paper, employers are looking for new ways to assess skills. Test Gorilla believes the answer lies in practical assessments. The company has developed what it calls immersive job simulations. These simulations place candidates in workplace scenarios where they must respond to AI-generated characters and realistic business challenges, rather than describing how they might handle a situation. Applicants are asked to respond to it directly. The aim is to measure communication, decision-making, and problem-solving skills in real time. Recruitment firm Robert Walters says the number of job applications has risen sharply in recent years as AI tools make it easier to prepare applications. Candidates can apply for more positions in less time. Employers are also using AI to automate tasks such as writing job advertisements, organizing applications, and scheduling interviews. In many cases, artificial intelligence is now present throughout the entire recruitment process, but despite the growing use of automation, many recruiters say the human element remains essential. Technology may help identify suitable candidates, but building trust, understanding motivation, and assessing personality still often require human judgment.
Technology news in India this week centered not around AI or about robotics, but about Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Events transpired in which youngsters pointed out breaches and flagged vulnerabilities in our public digital infrastructure. Now, while it is a time for introspection and redressal, it's also a great sign that these youngsters are so capable and so tuned in to the latest technology, and that can only augur well for India's future. I'll leave you on that note. This is Miraj signing out. Until next week, keep watching WION, like us on social media, and have a great weekend.